Hello. Welcome. Welcome again. Welcome again to Friday Night Live. Welcome again to Friday Night Live. Welcome Facebook. Welcome YouTube. I am getting it together um, with coming on time and getting everything together. So, welcome to Love Talk with Keisha. I'm live on Facebook. I'm live on YouTube. For those that don't know me, just give my little introduction. I am Lakeisha Jenkins, known as Coach K Jenkins. I am a coach, I am a speaker, and I am a author. And welcome to Love Talk with Keisha. This show is presented on behalf of Self Love Ministry, which promotes self love awareness in regards to us being able to love ourselves unconditionally, especially through our challenges of seeking and needing to heal. Love Talk with Keisha renders conversation pertaining to us discovering our brokenness and seeking new beginnings. We discuss issues surrounding healing and all types of relationships, the lies, which are the people often, which are the people's opinion and judgments against us, the lust, which is regarding to the pain, the trauma, and the effects that we endure, and also the lessons, the things that are meant to help us to heal, recover, and survive. I render truth, I render testimony, and I render transparency about my self journey and my self discovery. Comments are welcome through my inbox. Comments are also welcome through the comment section. If you have any questions, suggestions, any letters, any of those things, you are free to forward them after the show to my email, which is loving me first underscore self love at yahoo.com. Loving me, the number one ST underscore self love at yahoo.com. Now, let's have some love talk. Tonight, my title is geared around confidence. The title is Confident in My Self Value. Confident in my self value. And why did I choose this topic? A lot of times, as women, we struggle, or I want to take out the word struggle. We are challenged with becoming confident in ourselves, feeling confident in ourselves. Conversation that comes up often, you know, with friends. So, how do we become confident in ourselves? How do we become confident in ourselves? Like, what mentally do we have to go through, or do we have to endure to get to that point where we actually gain that confidence in ourselves? And I'm just going to get my little stuff together over here. So, how do we gain self confidence? How do we begin to feel good about ourselves? I will start by describing the word confident. Confidence. Confident means the feeling of self assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities and qualities. So, as women, or not just women, as men, as a person, whoever, we ought to feel confident in ourselves like all the time. No matter what, we ought to feel confident in ourselves. If you're not there yet, for whatever reason, um, there's strategies, there's different things that you can do. Let's just talk about some of the things that you can do. I'll just explain to you some of the things that I used to do and that I still do. I talk in the mirror to myself. I talk in the mirror to myself, just to give that self assurance that I need. Um, Whether it's you looking in a mirror, you smiling to yourself, or just reassuring yourself. You could do different things. You could do like what are they called? You could speak to yourself, repeat affirmations. So many different tools that you can do. So many different ways that you can do to instill that self confidence that you need. So self confidence is very, 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 very important. So let's just talk about, y'all know I always have questions. I always have questions. So some of the questions that I came up with this live with somebody that may be a little challenge in the finding confidence in yourself. First of all, if we would just ask ourselves, because I've had to do this in my personal life, how do I feel about myself? Because we know that often on a day-to-day basis, we are judged on so many different things. We're judged on who we were, how we act, how we present ourselves, how we talk. We're judged on so many different ways. But how do you find confidence in the midst of that judgment? How do you find confidence in the way that other people see you? And then that begins to reflect on how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself. So we have to ask ourselves, first of all, how do I feel about myself? So that would be the first question. How do you feel about yourself? And if you don't feel good about yourself, we have to ask ourselves, like, why don't I feel good about myself? Like, what is it that makes me not feel good about myself? Is it something that someone else has said that I have taken in to believe? Or is it actually something that happened that has become a scar, a stronghold, a challenge for me, and I just never dealt with it? And then we have to ask ourselves, what makes me most proud about myself? What are those good things that I like about myself? What are those things that drive me about myself? And then if you don't have anything that drives you, and you don't have anything that you feel good about yourself about, then you also, again, need to ask yourself why. Because we all should have, there should be something that we feel good about ourselves, no matter what. And then name two things you love most about yourself. What are the two things that you adore the most about yourself? And again, if you can't answer that question, then you go to the dislikes. What do I dislike about myself? And why do I dislike, myself? And why do I like these ways? And those are actually questions that will begin to challenge you mentally as a person. And as you write those questions down, and if you are a journal person, and if you don't journal, I am. I advise that you do try journaling, writing the questions down and writing the answers down. And even though you might write the questions down, let's just say you write the questions down tonight, but you can't answer that question. Keep pondering on those questions. Keep pondering on those thoughts until you can come up, with the answer for those questions. So that's just a starting point for someone who may be challenged with in the confidence area, becoming confident in yourself, feeling good about yourself. It is something that we should all strive to do because, as I say, the day to day challenges that we go through, with people judgments, things that are said, things that we endure, it can break our self confidence. It can really, really break our self confidence. So, being confident in yourself is very, very, very required. It's like a must. It makes you feel good. And this live is not going to be too long tonight, but I just wanted to come in just to chime in and talk about, being confident in yourself. Becoming confident in yourself, some of the notes that I wrote down, becoming confident in yourself causes you to move from fear to comfort. From fear to comfort, because you move out of that stage where now you were scared or you were fearful or whatever the reason was, and now you're working towards comfort. You're working towards that point of feeling good about yourself. You're working towards that point of moving beyond what other people think about you. You're moving beyond that point of what happened to you, what you endured that may have caused you to feel bad about yourself. So you're working past all of those things. So confidence causes you first to move from fear to comfort. So what are some of the things that we feel when we move from fear to comfort? Or what are some of the things I felt when I moved from the fear spot to the comfort spot? My faith began to build. I began to build faith. I began to say to myself, again, as a tool, I say, look in that mirror and talk to yourself. I began to look in the mirror and say to myself, Keisha, you can do this. Keisha, you are better than this. Keisha, you got this. Like, we have to say those things to ourselves to make ourselves feel good. It's always good for somebody to pat you on the back, or somebody else to tell you, somebody else to encourage you. But it's most importantly that you can pat your own self on the back, that you can encourage your own self, and that you can talk and you can speak motivation into yourself. So first of all, your faith begins to your build. You begin to build faith in your. You begin to build that faith that you have what's in you to do it, and that as you begin to pray, that God allows that strength in you to get past those feelings that you may feel, to get past those emotions that you may feel, which are those negative things, those discouraging things that keep us stuck and become titled as a stronghold, that you move past those things. You begin to build faith about what you're currently feeling, where you currently are, and where you see yourself. Like, I'm going to get there one day. Like, we can see we can see a person, man, woman, family member, friend, co-worker, stranger, whoever, that are so confident in themselves. They speak with confidence. They walk with confidence. They act with confidence. And sometimes we'll look and be like, man, like, I just wish I could be like that. Like, I wish I could feel like that about myself. Some people can speak and you can feel, some people can speak and you can hear their confidence. Some people, appearance shows that they're confident. And if you're not in that place, you will be a person to sit back and be like, man, I wish I could feel that way. Like, I wish I could, experience that. And once again, you can. It takes work, but you can. So, building your confidence and moving from that fear to comfort builds your faith. And then it builds your determination, because now as you begin to build your faith, and as you begin to take baby steps and you begin to go through the phases and the levels and the stages of making and bringing everything together, now you become determined because you see everything working together. You see everything like just working together. That's all that I can say. And then lastly, commitment. It builds your commitment, because the more that we see ourselves change, we move from the bitter person to now a happy person. We move from the angry person to, a self-controlled person. We move from a depressed person to a person that is now managing that depression better, and so many other transitions that happen. As we see those things happen, now we become committed. We become committed in this process, because here's why. We never thought that we can do it, or we doubted ourselves. Not too much. We never thought that we can do it. We just doubted ourselves. So a lot of times we doubt ourselves before we even put forward the necessary effort to make that change happen. So confidence, when you're moving from the fear spot and you're trying to find comfort, it builds your faith. For me, it did. It built my faith. I definitely became determined. And most of all, I became committed to my process of feeling good about Keisha. And then now we're talking about courage. How do we begin to gain courage? Because confidence and courage are important. They work together. You have to have that courage in yourself. You have to feel that you can do it. You have to know that you can do it. You have to know that you're capable of doing it. So that courage sets in. And courage causes you to become more confident in yourself. So when you have that little bit of courage, that little corner of courage, you become confident. And then you become confident. And that courage allows you now to become excited. You hear a lot of times in my videos, I say I'm in an exciting spot. I can't, at times describe it. It's just a nice feeling. It's an exciting feeling because I've never been here before. I'm putting effort and I'm putting work into areas of my life in which I neglected before. Certain things that didn't matter to me in my past, in my 20s and my 30s, or even my early 40s are now important to me. So now I'm excited about this process of Keisha exploring life, of Keisha, working through relationships, regardless of whether it's a friend, whether it's a BFF, whether it's a mate, whether it's a family member, whether it's a coworker, no matter who it is. I'm excited about my growth process. And then, most importantly, another thing you always hear me say, I have to have my peace. I have to find my peace in every area of my life. I need my peace. And then motivation. Motivation. So those three things. You become excited about changing and seeking a better you, becoming confident in you, achieving your goals, whatever your goals are personally about yourself. You become excited about those things. And then you want that peace. You want that peace to just be free. You want that peace to just be me, not have to let go of people's judgments. To let go of people still tagging you with that old person, with those bad habits, with those faults and those mistakes. You want peace from those things. You want to find peace from those things. And then the motivation. You become motivated because, man, like, I doubted myself, but now I see myself changing. Like, I used to do this, but now I find myself doing this. So now you become motivated in a way because you see yourself putting forth more effort and you see how it is inflicting change in your life. Confidence is something that makes you say, no, thank you, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I can survive alone if I need to. Like, I'm good. And I say that because you begin to recognize your worth. You begin to recognize your position. You begin to recognize your placement. You begin to recognize your status. And you begin to recognize your expectations of yourself and your expectations of others. So when you become confident in yourself, like, so many things just begin to grow. So many things just begin to form inside of you. And you just begin to feel good about yourself. Confidence is a great thing. Confidence builds up those emotions where you begin to feel good about yourself. You begin to feel important. You begin to feel special. You begin to feel more loved. Some of the words I wrote down is eager. You begin to feel worthy. And you begin to feel whole. You begin to feel complete. You begin to feel full. So many times when we are dealing with insecurities and we're dealing with self-esteem and we're dealing with judgment, we're dealing with so many different things, depression and so many other things. What do we feel? We feel unhappy. We feel sadness. We carry that guilt. We carry that shame. We carry those insecurities. We carry that self-esteem. We carry so many different things. And all of those things begin to pile up and pile up and pile up. Now they become so heavy that they weigh us down, where it's hard for us to smile. It's hard for us to be able to enjoy ourselves. For sometimes it's hard for people to just be able to walk out their door and find that peace within themselves without looking around and comparing yourself or feeling the need to compete with somebody else because of how you feel. Um, Confidence is a good thing. Confidence sets in so many wonderful, so many good emotions, so many different things. Confidence does not matter. We have to become confident no matter what our self appearance is. You may have been born with a certain feature, with something that you don't like about yourself. It could be, something on your face. It could be a birthmark. It could be, whatever it is. People are born with, um, so many different ways. We are born with things, and then we may not be able to fully accept that this is a part of me. But that's a part of the process of you becoming confident in yourself. To be assured that I may have this scar. I may have been born with this. I may have been born this way. I may have occurred this condition. I may be in this state. But at the end of the day, I still need to feel confident about myself. I still need to feel good about myself. I still need to feel worthy about myself. Um, so no matter how we look, no matter our appearance, doesn't matter. No matter our faults, I said this earlier, no matter our faults, no matter our flaws, no matter our mistakes, here's the big word, no matter our failures, Man, that word failure sometimes can really set in and make you feel real bad about yourself. But no matter of your failures, here's the thing. No matter of your failures, still feel confident because your failures, we're speaking of the past. Our failures, we're speaking of the past. You have the authority and you have the control to change the past. Who you was, who you are, and who you will be are three different people. Those failures were of your past. Now you want to enter that stage of addressing and evaluating what do I need to do to gain my self confidence? What do I need to do to help me not feel this way about myself? And then that will help you. That will help you to become a better person. So who you were, who you are, and who you will become are three different people. So do not let your failures keep you stuck. And then our downfalls also. Our downfalls can become very discouraging. The things that we aimed for, but we just didn't do. It just didn't happen for us. You know, maybe because it just wasn't the thing for us. Maybe we were trying something that we saw somebody else do, but that thing wasn't for us. And we got to dig deep down inside and become confident in ourselves to become in tune with ourselves, to touch within ourselves, to realize, okay, that's for her, that's not for me, or that's for him, that's not for me. So I have to find out what my purpose is. I have to find out what I should be doing with my life and not comparing myself or trying to compete with somebody else. Because when you are confident in yourself and you feel complete about yourself, you don't feel the need to compete. You don't have to compare yourself because you realize I am worthy of who I am. I am confident in who I am, no matter of my past. Okay, so our downfalls. And then that word comes back up again with judgments. So we have to get past all of those things, our faults, our flaws, our mistakes, our failures, our downfalls, our judgments. Like we have to move beyond all of those things. And we just have to try harder. We just have to try harder. I will say, I'm not going to say it's hard. It can be difficult. And here's the thing. It's difficult it can be difficult or it can be easy. It all depends on the amount of effort that you want to put in to create the change for your life. For me, I went all the way in. I went all the way in. I found every resource. I found every tool. You know, I implemented different things to help me feel good about Keisha because I got tired of being in that place where I needed other people to make me feel good. Or I carried that emptiness and that void and I needed it to be filled by another person. So when you move from that place, you begin to feel confident in yourself. You begin to feel different, and it's a wonderful thing. So you have to commit. You have to commit your best effort, and you have to become willing to change. The number one key to anything that we do is you have to become willing. You have to become willing. You can try, you can do it, but are you willing? Are you willing to stick through whatever the challenge is, whatever the circumstance is, despite of what happened? Because we have to realize that challenges are going to come in the midst of this process. Things are going to happen that are going to deter our strength, that are going to that are going to discourage us mentally. So before you go in, you got to ask yourself, am I going to stand still through this no matter what comes? Because many a times, and I've been in that place, I've entered I've entered and I said I was ready, but I really wasn't ready because mentally, excuse me, I had not prepared myself to accept that challenges come with this, difficulties come with this. You know, so we have to be willing to accept everything that comes with it. And when you're willing to accept everything that comes with it, in the end, when that outcome happens, when you become that bright person and you become so confident in yourself that you walk it and you speak it and you feel it, like you be like, man, I'm glad I did that. Man, I'm glad I challenged myself this much. I'm glad I let that old Keisha go. Like I'm glad that I stopped comparing myself and feeling that I needed to compete. Like you become so worthy of yourself that you basically um, stepped out of doubt, and that you move from that fear to that comfort. So it's a wonderful thing, y'all. It's a wonderful thing to just gain that self confidence that you need. It's a wonderful thing. This week or the last couple of days on my pages, you know, you've been seeing me post, stop settling and start seeking a way out. Stop settling and seeking a way out. Hashtag welcome change. Hashtag welcome change. So I say to somebody, on today, like, welcome change into your life. Whether the change is confidence, whether the change is happiness, whether the change is learning to love yourself better, whether the change is letting go of bad habits, moving past your self-esteem and your insecurities, letting go of the past, working towards forgiveness, feeling good about yourself, working on your on relationships and repairing and rebuilding relationships, and just finding you, enjoying you, being happy with you, feeling good about you. The wonderful thing. Like, stop settling. Stop settling for people's opinion. Stop settling for people's judgment, and just step out and do it. Start seeking. Start seeking ways of how you can feel good about yourself. People that you can people that you can surround yourself around that will help you feel good about yourself. Find somebody that you know that's already in that place, that's already, positioned in that place. Have them to help you. There are ways. If you want to feel confident about yourself, then you can't be hanging around somebody that's negative thinking and negative mind. You got to find somebody that's up spirit, that's upbeat, that's positive, that's speaking good things, that's saying good things. Even though, keep in mind, we all have our days. We all have our days where we may slip out of character, but we got to pull ourselves back in. And there's no accountability to have a friend, a family member, a co-worker, a BFF, a stranger, someone that can pull you up and cause you to be accountable for yourself, for your actions. I want that. In my friendships, I want that. If I'm wrong, I want it. If I've done wrong, if I've said something wrong, I want to hear it, because that's what makes me a better person. And it took growth for me to get there. There was a time when I didn't want nobody to tell me about what I said or what I did, even if I knew I was wrong. Nah. But now I want to know when I'm wrong, because I'm eager to become a better person. I'm eager to to see um to see me grow and to see me expand. So let's not settle. Let's start seeking a way out of our situations that are discouraging us, that are depressing us, that are making us feel bad about ourselves, that is causing us to be in that unhealthy spot, that is causing us to feel unloved, that is causing us to feel unappreciated. Like, we gotta work past those. We gotta work past those spots, and we gotta welcome change. I wrote down, stop feeling bad and define your happiness. Nobody, nobody, nobody can define your happiness but you. Nobody. Nobody can define your happiness but you. You are the only person you and God are the only people that know what makes you happy. You and God are the only people that knows what makes you happy. Um, and like, as I said in the beginning of this live, sometimes it takes you to sit down. You often hear me say those words, self-reflection. You often hear me say those words, self-evaluation. They are so needed. That thinking time, that alone time with you, whether you're just thinking or whether you're writing it down in your journal, it is so needed. I can tell you through a video, I can tell you through whatever. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to sit down and grasp on what makes me feel good, what makes me feel happy, what change do I aim for, and how can I get there? And write it down. Create your blueprint. Need help creating a blueprint? Need help trying to figure out your thoughts? That's what I'm here for. I enjoy doing it. I like doing it. It's a wonderful thing. I like to see people move. I like to see people grow. I like to see people win. And when I say win, I mean walk in newness. Walking in newness is a great thing. It's a marvelous thing. It's a fabulous thing. Because we doubt ourselves so much. I sit sometimes and think to myself, man, Keisha, what if I would have stayed in that same spot? Here's the thing. A lot of times we enter we enter situations. And I'll use this as an example. I did not understand that when I was going through the dark moment of losing my son, I did not understand that that was going to pull something out of me. I did not understand that that was going to define my purpose. I did not understand that that was going to push me to gain strength to not give up and to survive. Even before I lost my son, I didn't realize that the relationships, the failed relationships that I had endured, I didn't realize that it was going to cause me, it was going to cause a push in my life for me to be able to work through my insecurities, my self esteem, my lack of self love, my lack of self worth, my lack of self value to feel good about Keisha and to become confident in Keisha. I did not understand that when I met my DeAndre's dad and we started in a situationship, I didn't understand that that situationship was going to cause me growth in my life mentally. It was going to cause me mentally to challenge myself. You got to do better because this is where you started in the past. You got to do better this time. So even though you entered the situation, now you gotta switch some things up. You gotta put it in that blender. You gotta sit down. You gotta add that self-reflection. You gotta add that self-evaluation. You gotta add, this and that. You gotta push that button. You gotta alert. You gotta allow it to stir up. We gotta put a different formula to this time. I say all of that to say that even though you may find yourself in the same spot or doing the same things of your past, you have the authority to change it right then and there. You have the authority to mix it up this time, create a new formula. Because people are watching, people are looking. Oh, she did that last time, and she ended up doing this. That happened last time, and he did this. Oh, I already know where this is going to go because this is what happened last time. Now, switch it up on them. Switch it up. Create a new formula. Create something new. Switch it up. Stir it up. Push that button. Create a new outcome for yourself. As I always say, you got to include God in that formula, though. That formula has to include God in it. I am a firm believer. Many times I have tried to change, whether it was finances, whether it was relationships, things in my household, problems on my job, friendships, whatever. I tried it on my own, and I tell you, I became so stressed. But that moment I say, God, you know what? I give you everything. I'm going to start including you in this relationship. I'm going to start including you in this finance. I'm going to start praying more about this job situation. I'm going to start praying more about this relationship. I'm going to start praying about this friendship. Things begin to go smoother for me. So I say to someone, with you creating that new path, with you creating that new formula, you creating that whatever newness in your life, I cannot express more than ever. Like, include God. Don't know God? Try to get to know Him. Build that relationship. Just watching spiritual stuff at home. Challenge yourself more and more. Talking to Him. Starting that prayer life. Reading something, but include God in that process. And I'm telling you, your stress will lessen. your challenges, they're still going to be there, but you will become more managed. You will become to manage those things better. As I said, I say all of that to say this: do not get discouraged of where you are. That problem you're going through with your child, that problem you're going through on your job, that problem you're going through in your relationship, that problem you're going through in your marriage, that separation, that divorce, that breakup, that hurt you're dealing with, that disappointment you're dealing with, that self-esteem, that lack of self-love, that those insecurities, not feeling loved, appreciated, whatever it is, whatever issue, problem, situation, storm, whatever area it pertains to. Here's the thing that I have learned, and I've talked myself again. I do that self-talk in the mirror. Had I not went through that thing and pulled out the lessons from it, see, you can go through it and not understand the lesson and not get the lesson. Going through it, grasping onto the lessons and applying those lessons and moving in that lesson creates change. But when you go through it and you don't take time to evaluate the situation, you don't pull the lessons, then you won't create change. But when you do all of those things, I'm telling you, you move differently, you think differently, you begin to act differently, you crave different. You begin to crave different when you apply those lessons. Okay, so I go back. Yeah, I got into this situation shit, but guess what? Nah, it ain't gonna turn out the way that it did last time. I'm going to challenge myself to do something different this time. And I have. And I've seen the benefit. So even though you may have allowed yourself to enter a situation again, and you said, I would never do this again, I never wanted to be here again, always know you still have the chance to create change. You got to come up with a different formula. You're going to have to change some things from last time. You're going to have to do some things differently than last time. And most importantly, as we're talking about tonight, you got to become confident in yourself that you can do it, that you can make it happen, that you feel worthy of it. You feel worthy of it. So confidence is a good thing. Confidence is a great thing. Some strategy planning. I wrote down some notes for strategy planning. Here's a strategy for someone that may be trying to work towards confidence. Here, that word comes back up, evaluate. First, I want you to evaluate your current feelings. Evaluate your current feelings. And I go back to those questions that I asked in the beginning. How do I feel about myself? How do I feel about myself? Do I feel good? Do I feel bad? Do I feel good sometimes, bad sometimes, and why? That second question was, what makes me feel proud about myself? What makes me feel most proud about myself? Okay? And if it's nothing, why don't I feel proud about myself? Then that third question is name two things, or at least one thing, that you love about yourself. And if you can't think of anything that you love about yourself, why not? What makes me not feel loved? And once you begin to ask those questions, you begin to evaluate your current feelings, or not just your feelings, where you are right now in your life today. Once you begin to evaluate those things, but you have to begin to brainstorm ways to improve your confidence. The way that I may work on my confidence may not work for you. That's why you got to brainstorm your own way. Okay, so brainstorm ways to help you improve your confidence. And then thirdly, pick one thought to work on and run with it. Whether that thought is, okay, I'm going to do self-affirmations, which means things like I am wonderful, I am beautiful. Whether you want to get the little post-it stickers and put them on your mirror, whether you want to write in your journal every day, do a daily journal, a weekly journal, whether you want to, find quotes, what method am I going to use to build my confidence? And then journal your feelings. Journal your feelings and journal your thoughts. Journal your feelings and journal your thoughts. Here's the thing with that. The importance of journaling and the importance of writing things down is because today is July 11th, and this is what I felt. But now, June 11th, and this is what I felt. But now I'm in my journal and I'm writing. I'm on, let's just say it's July 11th, and I'm writing. I can begin to turn back. Man, this is how I felt on June 11th. Man, in 30 days, I started feeling this. It can help you become motivated with your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your desires. It really helps. So journaling is a good thing. And then lastly, reevaluate if needed. And then move on to another thought. If you tried the writing, using the post-its on the mirror, now try affirmation. Try journaling, switch up. So those are just some a little strategy planning for somebody who may be challenged with in the area of self-esteem and may need a beginning plan. That's the beginning plan. Okay, with almost 20 minutes left, and I'm doing good. I like to, when I do the lives by myself, I always like to end my live with a quote to stand out, and then just piggyback on some thoughts of a quote. And this quote that I found tonight to relate to self-confidence is, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. And we talked this little fly, it's getting on my nerves. So you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. And basically, this quote includes most of the things that I have talked about tonight. I talked about fear. You have to get over that fear. It talked about basically, looking fear in the face, moving from that spot of fear to comfort, strength, courage, and confidence. Those things are very, 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 very important. And then my ending notes pertaining to this quote, and I would like to leave this live by saying, be cautious. Be very cautious. When you are becoming confident and you're trying to find that spot, be very cautious. And when I say cautious, I mean set limitations. Set limitations. Limitations prevent wasted time. Because when you are in a point of trying to better understand yourself, when you are in a spot of growing, trying to mature, trying to let go of bad habits, work past your thoughts and your flaws and all of those things, everybody is not going to understand. Everybody's not going to understand your drive. Everybody's not going to understand your determination. Everybody's not going to understand why you're excited. Everybody's not going to understand why you're motivated. Everybody's not going to understand why you move like you do. However, set your limitations. That's for yourself and that's for others as well. That's friends, that's family, co-workers, BFFs, in your relationships and your friendships, because this process has to be about you. You becoming confident in yourself, you feeling good about yourself, you get into that spot where you let go of those past emotions and feelings. This is about you. It's not about your husband. It's not about your mate. It's not about your kids. It's about you, because you have to get to a confident spot where you can begin to love your mate, your spouse, your friends, your BFFs, your coworkers, even a stranger better. And it takes confidence to feel that, and it takes confidence to walk in that manner. And then secondly, be straightforward. I have learned to be straightforward with people. I used to be that person where I struggled to state how I feel, but I'm straightforward. You have to develop a sense of standard. You have to develop a sense of standard, and that's for respect. Some people are not going to respect your change because they're stuck on the old you. Some people, you know, are not going to accept the way you move, the way you act. They're not going to accept your changes that you have set for yourself and you made up in your mind. I'm going to move past this. A lot of times we hear people say, "Oh, she ought to change. He ought to change." When they gonna change? But when you do start changing, they say you changed. That's just what it is. Do people really want you to change? Hmm. So be straightforward. Develop a sense of respect, not just for yourself, but for others as well. And then lastly, be worthy and feel worthy. Whatever you expect, be able to give. And I am learning this, that whatever I am expecting of my friends, whatever I am expecting of my mate, whatever I am expecting of my kids, whatever I'm expecting of my family, I need to be able to deliver that to them. If I'm expecting respect, I need to deliver respect. If I am expecting, um, to render understanding through difficulties, then I got to be able to render understanding through difficulties. If I am expecting to, to just eliminate certain things, then I got to be willing to eliminate certain things. A lot of things, especially when it pertains to the person that we are pursuing or the person that we desire. I was talking yesterday with someone, and I said the thing that we don't realize is that we need to focus on whatever the characteristic of the person that we are looking for, are we going to be able to deliver that into that person? So if I am expecting a person that is understanding, that can communicate, that can be respectful, that whatever, just those three things, then I have to be able to communicate. I have to be able to respect. I have to be able to do some problem solving. I can't ask you to give me something that I'm not willing to give. Or I can't ask you to give me something that I'm not willing to work myself up to. And those three things: be cautious, be straightforward, and be worthy. Confidence as I said, confidence is a wonderful thing. I have about 12 minutes left. So if anybody do have a question or a comment within these last 12 minutes, you can type it and I will, answer your question or respond to your comment as I am wrapping up this closing of this live. But confidence is a wonderful thing, y'all. I encourage everybody. I have challenged myself within the last year, 6 months to a year. I have challenged myself. We can walk with a smile. We can walk with that walk. We can have on the clothes. We can be, we can look good. We can walk in a facade. We can walk with a mask on. But at the end of the day, if you are not confident in who you are, if you don't feel good about who you are, then you really need to challenge yourself, and you really need to take some time to really just examine what happened to make me feel this way. Like, what happened that allows me to doubt myself? Sometimes it could be something that happened you know, in our childhood, in our teenage life, in our adult life, growing up in a relationship, in a marriage, in a separation. Like, what happened? Like, where did I lose myself where I stopped believing in Keisha? Where did I lose myself where I stopped feeling that I was worthy and I was good? Where did I lose myself that I lost track of my self value? that I realize that I have the right to say no to something that I feel that I know is not of my value. And that's one thing that I challenge myself to. If I feel that I am worth more, and I know that I am worth more than what somebody, places me, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Because people will lessen your value, and that will cause you to feel bad about yourself, to feel that you are less of a person, to feel that you are not worthy. And I will say to you on tonight, you are worthy. You are special. You are loved. You are uniquely, wonderfully, fearfully, you know, separately made to be you in your unique way. Do not compete. Do not compare. It's not meant for you to compete. It's not meant for you to compare. It is meant for you to feel good about you. It is meant for you to begin to love you. It is begin to you to become to identify you, and not just to begin to identify you. Identify your desires. Identify your needs. Identify your wants. Identify your emotions. And when those emotions arise, deal with those emotions. Don't allow those emotions to pile up and to pile up and to pile up and allow you to become this person that you're not. My character is important to me. This one little fly. My character is important to me. Not just when I do a live, my character is important to me on my job. When I slip out of my character because I'm stressed or because I'm depressed, I have to get myself back on track because my character is important to me. Because I worked too hard to build myself up to this point to allow something or someone to allow me to let it all go. So I work hard every day to keep myself on the standard in which I do. So I say to someone, do the same thing. Put in that effort, put in that work to build yourself up. Those people that think that you can't do it, those people that are so used to the old you, prove them wrong. Present a new person. Present change. Start somewhere. Take the baby steps. Enter that phase. Go through that stage. And it will happen. But you have to be committed and you have to be willing. Without those two things, nothing you do will happen. The biggest part with any change is discipline. Discipline. We have to discipline ourselves for what we are trying to aim at. We have to discipline ourselves for what we want. You know, and it's just that important. Confidence is a wonderful thing. And that's all I can really say. We're 7 minutes left on this live. Confidence is a wonderful thing. A lot of people, are struggling with confidence. A lot of people are struggling with those inner issues. A lot of people are struggling with inner emotions. Again, you as a person have control of all of that. Not what somebody said or what somebody think. You as a person have control of all of that. Take charge. On tonight, I say take charge. On tonight, I say, make it happen. On tonight, I say, just become the best you, create change, stop settling, start seeking a way out and make the difference that you need and welcome change into your life. Again, I bring truth, I bring testimony, I bring transparency because that's what people need. You know, I just want to be that example. Want to be that example for somebody who may be challenged, for somebody who may be stuck in doubt, for somebody in which that stronghold has been there for so long. We talking about years, we talking about decades, and you're struggling with it every day, and you want to move forward. Those are the things that I feel so boldly and so proudly to talk about because I know the inner struggles that we can face and we can have, and I know that You can stay stuck if you don't put in that effort and you don't feel confident about yourself and you don't feel good about yourself, and you don't challenge yourself. It will keep you in a dark spot. And you will begin to look around and see everybody else live life and see everybody achieving life and see everybody aim for their goals and move, and you're still in that same spot. It's not because you're not capable. It's not because you don't have the same abilities. It's because you haven't challenged yourself enough. It's because you haven't put in enough effort. And it's because you haven't basically challenged yourself enough. So on tonight, I say to somebody, become confident in you and make it happen. With 4 minutes left, I'm going to end my life as I always do in a prayer. Dear God, I come to you just to say thank you. Thank you for giving me the words. Thank you for first of all, giving me this vision to do Friday night with Keisha, Friday night live love talk with Keisha, just to bring inspiration, motivation, encouragement, uplifting to someone that may need it in the everyday things that we are so challenged with in our lives. I thank you for continuing to pour into me. I thank you for continuing to give me the vision. God, I pray that my words will touch somebody tonight. I pray that my words will move somebody tonight. I pray that my words will shift somebody from fear to comfort and allow them to just grab on and say, I want to win. I want to walk in newness. I want to become a new person. I want to do a new thing. I want to be in a new spot. I want to gain a new drive. And I want to feel differently about myself. God, I pray that you may watch over and bless each of our household. Continue to watch over us from here and there. Continue to give us directions, and continue to give us guidance, continue to give us understanding, continue to give us knowledge. Just continue to just deliver the things that we so need, the protection that we need. Um, Continue to just pour into us and continue to just be the God that you are. And for us to know that we can always, always depend on you through the good and the bad, through the rain, through the sunshine, through our ups and through our downs. I thank you tonight for just allowing me to present this message. And again, I pray that it may help somebody. These blessings, these requests, these words, I ask in your name. Amen. Thank everyone that has joined me for this live tonight. Again, I pray that you have found some importance, that you have grabbed something from this, and that it has, just been inspiring and encouraging. If not to you, or you know someone that is struggling with self confidence or can use this message, forward it to them. This message is not just only on Facebook, they can also find it on YouTube if they are not on Facebook or any social media. So, good night. I love you. And until next time, God willing, I will see you. Bye bye.